Good morning everyone. I am welcoming all the students of class 2. Today we are going to start SST class chapter 18. You can see in chapter 18 Kalpana Chawla. You can take out page number 90. You can see in page number 90 Kalpana Chawla. We all know about Kalpana Chawla, right? So Kalpana Chawla is the first woman who traveled in space. So today we are going to learn about her. Kalpana Chawla was born on 1st July 1961. So Kalpana Chawla was born on 1st July in 1961 in Karnal, India. In Karnal in India was the first Indian woman to travel in space. So Kalpana Chawla was the first woman who traveled in space. From the time Kalpana was a child, she knew what she wanted. So Kalpana, when Kalpana was a child, she knew what she wanted in her life. So you can see her story. At home, her pet name was Montu. She have a pet. Kalpana have a pet. So his name was Montu. She had not been given a name by her father because had been very busy. So she don't have a name. Why? Because her father was so busy, that's why she didn't have a name that time. Now, her sister and her aunt took her to get her into nursery class. The principal asked her name. Now, her sibling sisters and her aunt went get her to nursery school and the principal asked her name. Now, principal ma'am also asked her name. So, what she said? Her sister said that they wanted to keep her name Kalpana or Sunena, but was not sure yet what name they would keep. So her sister was not sure what the name will keep, but they said, I want to keep her name Kalpana or Jacinta or Sunena. But what happened? The principal then asked the little girl which name she would like to keep for herself. And the little girl said at once, Kalpana. So, principal ma'am asked her, which name do you like for you? So, what her little girl said that time? Kalpana. So, her first word was Kalpana. From that day, her name started with Kalpana. So, in this way, she choose her own name. Like the name she chose, which means imagination. In Hindi, Kalpana Chawla was a high imaginative child. So, in Hindi we can say Kalpana means imagination, and Kalpana Chawla was a highly imaginative child. She also chose what she wanted to study. She loved the stars and aeroplanes. So, she went to study about how to make aeroplanes. So, in childhood, she loves aeroplanes and stars. So, from the childhood, she know what she wanted to study, what she want to study for a further study, and she loves stars, aeroplanes from childhood. So, she went to study about how to make aeroplanes. So, she went to study how to make aeroplane. Near her house in Karnal, there was a flying club and many small aeroplanes will fly over her house. So, near her house, near Kalpana house, there was a flying club. So, many aeroplanes will fly over her house. She would go up to the roof to watch the aeroplane going over the head. So, whenever the aeroplanes go from her house, she would go on a roof. वो छत पे जाकर वो aeroplane को उड़ता हुआ देखता था. So, next, she will wave her hand at the pilot if the plane will fly low over her house. So, if the plane will fly low over her house, उन्हीं के घर के पास से जाता था, तो what she did? She waved her hand to the pilot. Now, when she was 11 years old, she asked her father to take her to the flying club. So, when she was 11 years old, she asked her father to go for a flying club. Now, there she sat in a small aeroplane and had a joyride. So, her father took her on a flying club and she sat on a small aeroplane and she had a joyride. वो aeroplane पे चढ़कर भी घूम गई थी. Now next, she loved that first ride in the aeroplane. She then made up her mind that she would fly and study about planes and stars. So from that day, Kalpana Chawla made up her mind that in future he want to study about planes and stars. Now what happened? Once in her school days, she and her classmates built a physical geography map of India covering the floor of an entire classroom in her school. So one day Kalpana Chawla and her classmate made a physical geography map of India covering by floor of an entire classroom in her school. Tagore Bala Niketan, she covered its clinic completely with stars, sparkling dots marked on blackened newspaper. So she covered with stars sparkling. There are so many stars, dots, marks on blackened newspaper. Whenever her teacher asked her class to draw scenery, she will always draw aeroplane flying in the sky. So whenever her teacher asked to draw anything, she used to draw aeroplanes on a flying sky. While the rest made mountains, rivers and houses, she always loves to make model of aeroplanes during craft class. So we always use mountain, house, but what Kalpana Chawla did? Kalpana Chawla always used to make aeroplane, stars on a craft class also. So she was very interested from her childhood. She was very interested on a plane, aeroplane. She wants to study about planes, how to make planes, what is stars. So she was very interested. Now she would often ask questions about space, but would rarely receive a satisfactory answer. So she always asks her teacher about star, about space. So her answer that she received really satisfactory answer. So now what happened? Kalpana Chawla went to study about aeroplane in Chandigarh. So Kalpana Chawla went Chandigarh to study about aeroplanes. She was also the only girl in her class. She stayed in a room alone and she cooked her own food. So she was the only girl in the class. Now there are so many boys, but she was only one girl. She stayed in her room alone and she also cooked her food by own. So she was alone in her room, वो अकेली रहती थी, and she used to cook food by her own. She used to go to study on her bicycle. She would also to get vegetables on her bicycle. So she used to go with her bicycles and she used to buy some vegetables on her bicycle. Kalpana was a very kind girl. Her father sent her pocket money every month. She saved a part of her money to give the fees of one poor girl of her class. So Kalpana was a very kind girl. So when her father sent her pocket money, she used to give one girl, her classmate, for a fees. So even when she was in space, she gave up her rest time to help to finish some work. So when she was in space also, when she finished her work, she used to help others also. Now this shows how kind she was. So it shows her habit shows how kind Kalpana was, right? Now she completed her college and got the degree in engineering in India. So she completed her college and got degree in engineering. So she got a engineering degree. Now then she went to the US for higher study. So first Kalpana came to study about aeroplane in Chandigarh. Now she went US for her further study. Now when Kalpana Chawla went for the first time in space shuttle, she wanted to see what the earth looked like from the space. So when Kalpana Chawla first went to the space, she wanted to see the earth, how the earth looked like. Now she sat by the window of the shuttle and watched the earth. The first thing that she thought was that the earth was very small. So when she sat beside the window and she saw the earth was very small. As they could go around the earth in an hour and a half. So she thought that it is an hour or half hour. So she felt that people should look after our earth more nicely, as the earth is only place where people can live. So she thought that as the earth is only one place that people can live, and earth that she think that people have to see very nicely because earth is very small. Now Kalpana felt that she belonged not only to the earth but to the whole solar system. So Kalpana felt that she belonged not only to the earth but the whole solar system. Now when she died on 1st February 2003 when the space shuttle in which she was traveling exploded. So when Kalpana was returning, we all know about Kalpana Chawla's story. So she died on 1st February on 2003. So when she was returning, so her traveling space was exploded. So this is the story of Kalpana Chawla. Kalpana Chawla was born on 1st July 1961 and she died on 1st February 2003. So this is the story, and you can watch this and you can watch her story in YouTube also. You can search her story. Now we can see the exercise work. Page number 93 you can go, 92 sorry. Take the correct option. Kalpana Chawla was an astronaut. Kalpana Chawla went to study about aeroplanes in Chandigarh. The word Kalpana in Hindi means imagination. So rearrange the word to make true sentence. Kind Kalpana a was girl. Kalpana was a kind girl. You can write this. Made aeroplanes model Kalpana her of classes during craft class. Kalpana made a models of aeroplane on her craft class. Felt whole system belongs solar. The her Kalpana too. Kalpana felt that the whole solar system belonged to Kalpana. Number 3 you can see. Kalpana felt the whole solar system belonged to her. Now in next page you can see. You have to write this. Color the objects that can be seen in the sky. So you have to color the objects what you can see in the sky, like aeroplane, like kites. Okay, so you have to write this, and you can see the match the column. This is your homework, exercise B. Visit a planetarium. Describe your visit in a paragraph. So you have to write a paragraph of planetarium. Number 3 you can see, match the column. Kalpana Chawla, rocket and astronaut. So we have finished the chapter, last chapter. Exercise A, exercise B and exercise C. You can do this in your copy. This is your homework, exercise B. You have to write the paragraph about planetarium. Okay. So we have finished the chapter for today. This much. Thank you. Have a good day.